Kazi Nazrul Islam was a Bengali poet, musician and revolutionary from India. He is the national poet of Bangladesh. Popularly known as Nazrul, he produced a large body of poetry and music with themes that included religious devotion and spiritual rebellion against fascism and oppression. Nazrul's activism for political and social justice earned him the title of rebel poet. His compositions form the avant-garde genre of Nazrul Sangeet. Nazrul's writings explore themes such as love, freedom, and revolution. He opposed all forms of bigotry and fundamentalism, including religious, caste-based and gender-based. Nazrul was born in a Bengali Muslim family in Kirulia, a village in the Asansol subdivision of Bardhaman district in the Indian state of West Bengal. His father Qazi Fakir Ahmed was the imam and caretaker of the local mosque and mausoleum. Nazrul began writing poetry at an early age. His first poem was published in a local magazine when he was only 11 years old. He also wrote and sang songs, which were popular among the local people. In 1913, at the age of 14, he joined the British Indian Army as a sepoy, private soldier. He served in the army for 3 years and was stationed in Rangpa, Dhaka, and Camilla. During his army service, he wrote poetry and songs that expressed his love for his country and his longing for freedom. In 1916, he left the army and returned to Kirulia. He then moved to Kolkata, Calcutta, where he worked as a journalist for a number of newspapers and magazines. His poetry and songs were deeply influenced by the Indian independence movement. He wrote many patriotic songs and poems that inspired the Indian people to fight for freedom from British colonial rule. He also wrote many songs and poems that celebrated the culture and heritage of Bengal. He also wrote many poems and songs that explored the spiritual journey of the human soul. Nazrul's poetry and songs were also deeply influenced by the Bengali folk tradition. He wrote many songs and poems that celebrated the culture and heritage of Bengal. He also wrote many songs and poems that celebrated the beauty of nature and the simple life of the rural people. Nazrul's poetry and songs were also deeply influenced by the feminist movement. He wrote many poems and songs that celebrated the rights and dignity of women. He also wrote many poems and songs that challenged the patriarchal society and advocated for women's rights. Nazrul's poetry and songs were also deeply influenced by the socialist movement. He wrote many poems and songs that advocated for the rights of the working class and the poor. He also wrote many poems and songs that challenged the capitalist system and advocated for socialism.